guys, it's Luke here and welcome back to another video where you join me today with actually probably quite a familiar car for those of you who watched the video where I had the initial suspension work and coilovers fitted to my Mark 7 Golf R. This is Simon's Mark 7 GTI Clubsport S fitted with genuine McLaren wheels. Now, those of you who watched that video, of course, you would have seen that this car was at VGS at the same time as my car was there, and so I had to set up a full feature video on this car because not only does it have genuine McLaren wheels, it's also had a whole host of other things done to it. It's running a stage 3 package, and of course, it's a Clubsport S as well. And so in usual fashion, what we will do, we will catch up with the owner, Simon, have a walk around the car before going out and having some fun in this stage 3 Clubsport S. Okay, Simon, the owner of the car, welcome to the channel, my friend. Pleasure to have you and the car on the channel. This thing, like I mentioned in the intro, is awesome. I'm a lover of golfs, and this one is definitely up there. I'm going to make a beeline to the wheels because that's something which personally is a big part of this car for me. It is kind of the icing on the cake. So these are genuine McLaren wheels, aren't they?
They are genuine McLaren wheels.
McLaren wheels. Obviously, a set of 4 fronts because there's no way you're going to fit a rear on one of these. But yeah, talk us through them, really.
So what you've got, they're actually, I painted them originally in matte black, and I didn't think they looked as good as they might be. So I've had them repainted, and that is actually Pretoria silver, which I think is really, really nice.
Okay, nice.
So they've got genuine McLaren centre caps. Fortunately, they gave them with me, with the wheels for me, because otherwise they're £200. Would you believe those small ones? And then behind, you can see a AP big brake kit. That will go on a Pretoria alloy without any spacers. So that's quite a good kit.
And is that just the front brakes you've done? Yeah, stock brakes on the back?
Yeah, and it's got uprated pads on the back, so there's Mintex pads on there.
Yeah, these wheels suit this car so well, really, really well. Because you said that you originally painted them in matte black.
Yeah, I did.
I suppose you'd lose the design, really.
Yeah,
so I guess.
You did. It's exactly that.
Now, obviously, this car is a stage 3 car. You've had the car from new, I understand, as well. So it's been obviously from stock right the way up. So VGS, I understand, have done all the work?
Yeah, so Chris at VGS has done all the work, most of the work on the car. You can see all the racing line bits there. So it's got the racing line R600 intake. We've got the Turbo Technics intake pipe that's going into a Turbo Technics hybrid turbo. It's called a quick spool turbo.
Okay.
So I really didn't want lots and lots of power and boost because it's front wheel drive car and you just spin it away. I did have that on my Golf R before. I've got it on here because it's just got stronger internals, but it works really well. And actually down there you can see the BCS power valve down pipe, and that's onto a 100 cell cat.
Yeah, sports cat. Nice.
And just a tip, if you ever have an extra alarm put on your car, watch what they're doing because they've actually mounted it above the manifolds. And it wasn't that shape originally, it's melted.
Nice.
All right,
probably
so
the worst place to put that.
Don't do that.
Anything else under here? Catch can?
Yeah, so you've got racing line catch can. It's got, you can see here, it's got the Super Pro engine mounts.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you can't get those anymore. And underneath, you've got Super Pro lower control arms. You can't see it here, but they're Super Pro top mounts. And actually, if you look at the wheel, you can see the level of camber.
Oh yeah,
A Clubsport S comes with a lot of camber anyway, but that is a lot more. And at Chris's place at VGS, there's a guy there, Alex, and he runs nothing standard suspension, and he does the geometry for these cars and many others, and it does turn in. It's mega. It really is. It really is good. And then sort of coming back to here, you can't see it, but it's got a DO88 intercooler and a DO88 radiator as well, and people might not have heard of them, but they're a Swedish firm and the quality is just mind-blowingly good, and they're not ridiculously expensive. So all of that together on the car, the hardware works really. So the racing line stuff with the DO88 with the Turbo Technics turbo, it's got the EcoTune software, all of that together produces, I didn't want more than 400 horsepower because I think it's pointless in a front wheel drive car, but it's producing north of 450.
Yeah,
which is a lot to handle. But what Chris has done with Stan is they've reduced the boost at low revs, because otherwise, no matter how much grip you got and how fancy your tyres are, you just can't get it down. It does drive quite nicely, and believe it or not, it will still do 30 to the gallon, which you know, it's pretty amazing.
Well, I think what we will do, we will start it up and see if we can put any power down today. The roads are a little bit wet, but we should have a little bit of fun either way. So yeah, we'll get this started up, go out for a quick drive, see what it's like. That exhaust sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great. That exhaust is fabulous.
You get those like snaps, don't you, when it loses?
Yeah, and I've got to say the BCS exhaust is beautifully set up.
The tone is perfect.
Yeah, it's quiet on the motorway, but then under full acceleration you get that fan. And I have to say the standard car has got a fabulous exhaust as well. True. But this just amplifies that a bit.
I see what you mean about the quick spool as well. Because
it goes.
Feathering the throttle.
Yeah.
And then when you planted it, it just went.
Oh, phenomenal! Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. You know, it does feel like 400 horsepower. You know, it is. It's impressive, and all credit to Stan at EcoTune, because you know they did quite a few software files to make it work. Because
lots of iterations.
Yeah, because if you have loads of boost slow down, you end up just spinning your wheels,
and then you get torque steer. And
but I think it's you know, having that much power, but it is a combination of really good hardware, the racing line stuff, the DO88,
it's incredible.
Turbo Technics, all of that has come together, and over the years I've put quite a few different. I've had a few things that have not worked. I've had an exhaust on it which is just too noisy. just I had a map on it that made too many cracks and bangs. But now I think it's just about as good as it's going to be. These cars they're great cars, but I think people, when they buy them, and you know there are these cars around with 600 miles parked in garages, it kind of frustrates me a bit, because I think these cars are made to drive. When you see that, you know, there are so few Clubsport S's being used.
Which makes yours kind of unique, because it's
not
quite
done
the
massive
opposite.
miles. It's done 12,000 miles, and it was my daily at one point. But it's a really comfortable car. That's the thing. You know, people think, oh, you know, Nürburgring lap record is going to be a uncomfortable, unyielding, harsh car, and it's not.
It's not.
No. I think the MSS springs help a bit.
That's something we didn't mention, actually.
Yeah.
So the springs work. MSS springs all round.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's right. It's the helper spring at the back. In particular.
One other thing we didn't mention as well is the clutch. Obviously, you've done the clutch. You've been through quite a few clutches.
So
What one is it that you got?
So it's got a Helix 6 paddle. Clutch number 1 failed almost immediately after delivery. And I got some criticism the other day because, you know, harsh track driving, you cooked your clutch, you cooked your brakes. Actually, the clutch failed almost immediately, and when the car went in to have its new clutch at the dealer, of the 4 cars, because Inchcape and Swindon managed to get 4 Clubsport S's, another one of those cars was in having its clutch as well. It's incredible, And
because it's brand new as well, it's just so much fun.
See, there's 4th gear, you know, and it's absolutely right in the boost zone. It's phenomenal, and this is quite a bouncy road, and it's soaking it up beautifully. You know, you talk about the Nürburgring and bounces, and you know, this is probably worse.
Not quite as bad as the carousel, but
no.
The tone of the exhaust is
it's
so
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah. Fair play to BCS. They've done a really good job of making something refined on the motorway, and then really, really sporty when you want it.
Yeah.
When you want to go a little bit on it.
Anyway, that is going to wrap things up from me today. We've been really lucky with the weather actually, because it was tipping it down earlier, and it seems to have now dried out. But Simon, thank you very much for coming out on the channel with the car. Hopefully we'll catch up maybe on track somewhere later on in the year, and see this thing as it progresses. But if you guys want to follow the progress of this car, you can follow Simon's Instagram, which is linked down in the description. But for me today, that is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please do make sure you leave a like and make sure you subscribe for all the adventures still to come.